afternoon. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting with our first panel discussion for this afternoon. Let us welcome on stage our 5 panelists. From Bicol Region, please welcome the City Nutrition Program Coordinator of Naga City, Ms. Rosemary V. Zuniega. Joining CNPC Zuniega, let us welcome from Western Visayas, the City Nutrition Action Officer of Talisay City. Please welcome on stage, Ms. Gemma Gonzaga. Joining our panelists for this first panel discussion, also from the Central Visayas region, the Barangay Nutrition Scholar of Barangay Bohol, Tagbilaran City, Bohol, Barangay Nutrition Scholar Ms. Juanita Hinay. And of course, joining the panelists from Eastern Visayas, from the city of Maasin, Southern Leyte, Vice Mayor Maloni Samaco. And lastly, joining our panelists is from the Scaling Up Nutrition or SUN Civil Society Alliance Network, the Director for Health Programs of the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Incorporated. Please welcome Dr. Giselle Marie Gaviola. And for this first panel session this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to keep the discussions flowing for this first panel discussion, please welcome our moderator, is the Nutrition Officer for and Officer in Charge of the NNC's Nutrition Surveillance Division. Please welcome, turning over the microphone to Ms. Ellen Ruth F. Obelia.
Kaninyong tanan, hanggang doon lang po ang aking Bisaya. So as Kayo has mentioned, this session will be drawing out from our distinguished panelists. From your experience, your roles in implementing the Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition in your respective areas or organization. So for this session, I'll be asking you 3 questions. The first question will be directed to all of you. 1 question lang po for all of you. And then the next question will be individual questions with regards to your roles sa local nutrition program, in your organization, what is your contribution. And then the third last question would be directed to all of you. And then we'll have a special session or portion as a closing po. Pero hindi ko sasabihin kung ano yung surprise na closing ng ating session. Don't be, wag po kayong kabahan. Masaya po yung ating last segment of our session. Sige po. So, kanina po, it's been repeated that the Philippine Plan of Action and the nutrition, especially, is a multi-sectoral, multi-dimension. So, we all need to put our hands together. So, every one of us, kayo po na 5 on stage, have a specific, important, and critical role for nutrition. So, the first question would be, parang Miss Universe. Hindi nga lang kayo naka-headphone. Yan. So, the first question would be, can you describe your role in the nutrition program and how has the PPAN or your local nutrition action plan was able to support your role? So can I request that you keep your answers short but sweet in consideration of our limited time for our session. So let's start with kay Ma'am Rose Zuniga. Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon. My role as a City Nutrition Program Coordinator is to assist the City Nutrition Action Officer in coordinating the nutrition program, provide technical assistance to Barangay Nutrition Committee in the implementation of the nutrition program, and then provide staff support to the BNS program, plans, and provide training to, like for example, seminars, trainings and also plans and conduct trainings, monitors and supervise, evaluates the nutrition program in the city, and lastly, consolidate and submit reports to our LGU and also to the National Nutrition Council Region 5.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. So, your role is more of the technical assistance. Thank you po. So, Ma'am Gemma, as
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. As Sina, also we have an important role in the Nutrition Committee. So most of the time, our Chief Executive also very much busy, and the Nutrition Action Officer is the one who presides the City Nutrition Committee meeting, and also the one, the CNOW has core functions like with the management dimensions such as coordination, advocacy, planning, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation, resource generation, as well as capacity building with our nutrition health workers and also the BNS especially.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Gemma. Ayan, ito yung ating close to the ground, yung nasa heart ng implementation. BNS Ninit, what is your role in the nutrition program?
As a BNS, the Philippine Plan of Action on Nutrition plays a crucial role in supporting my role as a barangay nutrition scholar. PIPAN provides a comprehensive framework and guidelines for nutrition program at the national and local level. This plan supports me by setting priorities. PIPAN outlined national priorities for nutrition, helping me align my efforts with the broader goals of improving nutrition in Tagbilaran City. Resource allocation. It helps in resource allocation by providing a RAP node for funding and resource distribution of various nutrition programs, ensuring that necessary resources are available for our initiatives. Then training and capacity building. PIPAN emphasizes the need for training and capacity building, which benefits me as it enhances my knowledge and skills, enabling me to better fulfill my role. Monitoring and evaluation. The plan includes mechanism for monitoring and evaluation of nutrition program, which allows me to assess the effectiveness of our initiatives and make necessary adjustment. Then advocacy and collaboration. PIPAN promotes advocacy and collaboration with various stakeholders, which help in mobilizing support and resources for our community nutrition efforts. In summary, the Philippine Plan of Action on Nutrition provides a structured framework that supports and guides my work as a barangay nutrition scholar, ensuring that I can effectively contribute to the nutrition program in Tagbilaran City.
Thank you, BNS Net. Mamaya yung next question yung kung paano mamaya natin i-detalye yung mga sinagot ni Ma'am Ninit. Si Vice Mayor Maloney, the first time I met him, siya yung executive arm ng Maasin City when they were running for Nutrition Honor Award na nakuha naman nila. And now as a legislative head ng legislative body, what is the role of the Vice Mayor naman for the local nutrition program?
Well, actually, when I was mayor, siguro, we're successful because we were able to garner the Nutrition Honor Award. And my concern now is how to sustain the momentum that we're able to gain as Hall of Famer. Of course, I still urge the barangays to have their barangay plan of action for nutrition properly outlined in relation to the PIPAN. And likewise, I urge them to still give a budget for nutrition. In fact, I said na pag hindi nyo budgetan ng nutrition, well, approve your barangay budgets.
Yes.
So, dapat lang they will allocate. No? I practiced that during my time as mayor. So, kasi, well, now handling, we're approving the budget, so they have to budget. No? And likewise, not only budget, but they have to use the funds. Because there are barangays who give budget, but they do not use the funds for savings. So we have to monitor them closely with our City Nutrition Council. And likewise, I urge also the city councilors to monitor the implementation also of the budget and their programs on nutrition in their level and in our level.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Si Doc G, as our partner outside of the government, what is the role of appointees or a civil society alliance?
Mauswagong hapon kaninyong tanan. We added mauswagong for that. As we in Rafi, and the network also, we are a convener for Architects of Change. So what we do is we work hand in hand with the communities, hand-holding, and then letting them be aware of their current realities. We work with them, co-create and co-design so that they will own their program. And then we also identify the gaps. And we look into our networks, find out the strengths of all the NGOs and CSOs who are willing to help, and we match it to their needs.
Okay, Doc G, follow-up question now. As a member of or representative of Scaling Up Nutrition Network for CSA or Civil Society Alliance, the Scaling Up Nutrition, by its word, is organized to support for the widest implementation of the PPAN. So how do you see the Sun Network supporting the PPAN for it to be able to reach the widest or the remotest barangays, the isolated areas, and even and also our indigenous brothers and sisters?
Thank you for that question also. I believe that before we think of scaling up, it's very important that the proper implementation first is done. So for the network, we have various resources and innovations that we can assist even to the barangay levels. Because I believe that that is where it should start before we start, let's say, scaling up. When there's proof of the pudding, it's easier now to replicate.
Okay, so dapat merong evidence first.
Yes, may evidence-based. I'm very happy because the PPAN created that framework. You have process, the systems are involved also. I think that is also very important. Sometimes down to the LGU level working, I'm sorry, I'll just add this on.
Go ahead.
They're very focused on activities. They are not so much into the impact. That's where they really need the help, but they really need to see the big picture. Because sometimes small activities, when small lang siya, not really creating that this is contributing to what we really want to envision. Like we want really to drive them, to inspire them together that this is our dream and where those activities should be led to.
Okay, so one of the role of the CSA or the Sun Network is you look at models, and then through those models you look at how they can be scaled up, where they can be implemented or replicated kung saan yung may same context. Okay, sige po. Thank you. Si Ma'am Rose kanina as a nutrition program coordinator sa Naga City. Basically, you said that your role is to provide technical support for the local nutrition program. Based on your experience, how has been your experience in ensuring na yun pong formulated na local nutrition action plan ay aligned sa ating PPAN? So sa Naga City, you are a highly urbanized city, di ba? So you are nakakabit sa region, yung inyong plan. Parang it should be aligned sa region. How do you ensure na yung inyong pong plan ay naka-align sa regional action plan?
Thank you. Sa pamamagitan po ng yung alignment ng namin, we see to it na lahat ng mga programa na inilalagay namin sa aming local nutrition program projects, naka-align lahat sa PPAN.
Okay.
Opo. And yun po ang ginagawa naming pamantayan upang patuloy naming maiangat ang mga programang pang-nutrition. At patuloy din naming ini-encourage ang aming mga volunteer workers, binibigyan namin sila ng mga training, seminars, para patuloy nilang magabayan yung mga mga recipients, yung mga beneficiaries sa aming barangays. Tinuturuan namin sila ng mga tamang pamamaraan kung paano ang pakikitungo sa mga mamamayan. Especially kasi mas nalalapit sa atin yung ating mga recipients, beneficiaries, kung ipinapakita natin sa kanila na mahal natin sila. At binibigyan natin ng importansya ang mga programa. And patuloy din po naming inaangat yung aming IYCF kasi dito nagsisimula ko ang kalusugan ng mga bata para di na din maging tulad sa akin na BFF.
Pareho tayo doon. Sige po. Isa pa pong dagdag, Miss Rose. Kasi po, di po ba, there are some activities sa ARPAN na hindi naman siya talaga mag-fit sa context ng Naga City. Example po sa area ninyo. How do you pick interventions na mag-a-align, na nasa Regional Philippine Plan of Action, pero it would fit or align in the context of Naga City? Example po ng isang intervention na naka-align sa regional ARPAN na ginamit ninyo po sa Naga City. And it was successful.
Sa amin po kasi binigyang pansin kung paano namin mapangangalagaan yung mga bata. Nagkakaroon po kami ng mga programa tulad ng yung sa supplemental feeding. Meron kaming ginawa na yung sabihin natin programa namin sa supplemental feeding, yung Nutrimix processing.
Okay po.
Kami na mismo yung gumagawa nun at binibigay sa lahat ng mga bata na 6 to 24 months. At meron din po kaming ginagawa na nakiki-coordinate kami sa mga line agencies para patuloy naming maiangat ang aming nutrition program.
Okay, thank you po, Miss Rose. Punta naman tayo kay Sinaw Gemma ng Talisay City. So the Nutrition Action Officer will continue to have a very critical role sa adoption po ng PPAN. Nabanggit yun na po siya kanina, pero in your experience as Sinaw po ng Talisay City, what have been your strategies to ensure that the local nutrition program is well coordinated?
Okay, by having regular meeting for the CNC, like at least once in a quarter, and also for the BNS, we should have a monthly meeting to update their reports and documentation also in the barangay, and also by giving them capacity building with the health workers, BNS, that includes also BHWs and midwives.
Okay po, so parang you are looking at lahat ng
Yan ang tamang solusyon. I like it. Laking one. Yan ang tamang paraan. Tamang nutrisyon. Yan ang tamang solusyon. I like it. Laking one.
ng nutrition program. Kayo po na bilang isang BNS, paano nyo po na-encourage yung active participation ng mga pamilya at saka ng mga community sa ating nutrition program?
Thank you, Christian Ma'am. As BNS, I encourage the active participation of families and the community in the barangay nutrition program is vital for its success. Here are some strategies I've employed in my role as a barangay nutrition scholar to promote their involvement. First, community workshop and education. Organizing regular workshop and educational session on nutrition-related topics with the community. This is not only impart knowledge but also foster a sense of ownership among the community members. Then awareness campaign. Running awareness campaign about the importance of good nutrition and the role of barangay nutrition program. This campaign can include poster, pamphlets, and community meetings. Then community meetings. hosting community meetings or assemblies where families can openly discuss their nutrition concern, share ideas, and provide feedback on the program activities. Then collaboration with local leaders, building strong relationship with barangay officials and local leaders who can help advocate for the program and encouragement community participation. Involve young and schools. Engaging school and youth groups in nutrition-related as they can be powerful advocates for positive change wherein their families and communities. Home visit. Conducting home visit to assess the specific needs and challenges of individual families, providing personalized advice and support. Creating support group. Establishing support group for mothers, caregivers, and individual with common nutrition concern and sense of community in mutual support. Celebrating success. Recognizing and celebrating the achievement of families and community members who actively participate and make positive change in their nutrition habit. Feedback mechanism. Establishing feedback mechanism such as suggestion boxes or surveys to gather input and ideas from the community on how to improve the nutrition program. Then, by implementing these strategies and maintaining open communication with families and the community, I aim to foster a sense of shared responsibility and active participation in the barangay nutrition program, ultimately contributing to improve nutrition outcomes in the region.
Thank you po, BNS Nenit. So kung napakinggan niyo yung sharing ni CNPC Rose, si Sinaw Gemma, tsaka si BNS Nenit, meron silang common across them. May coordination, may capacity building, mayroong monitoring and evaluation, feedback mechanisms, pero these are done from different levels. Si BNS Nenit, she does her role at the barangay. Si Sinaw ay ang kanyang kaulayaw or lagi niyang kausap ay yung mga line agencies. Si NPC naman ay ganun din pero more of a technical level, di ba? So, yun yung mga inputs na kailangan naman ng ating mga legislative and executive na arm. So, punta tayo kay Vice Mayor Maloney. So, as a member of the local legislative body ng Maasin City, what else or what local legislation po yung inyo pang naiisip na dapat ay magkaroon tayo or should be put in place to ensure a long-term support for PPAN in Maasin City?
Well, first of all, we would adopt the PPAN in our local level and make our own city plan of action for nutrition. As I've said, also let the barangay emulate the plan of action in the city and in the regional and national level. Then, of course, public officials should be hands-on. This should be hands-on management style in monitoring our wasted and stunted children. During my time as city mayor, DC now, Dr. Ratan can testify to that, palagi akong nagtatanong sa kanya, Doc, how many percentage is the wasted, the stunted? Almost every quarter during our meeting, I always ask her if our stunted and wasted has reduced. No? And our target really, to be honest, is to make it 2% na lang ang underweight. No? But the problem is we have mga obese. And so, palaging monitor. No? Yan ang technique talaga. And now that I am a legislator, of course, we're planning to pass more legislations on nutrition promotion in the barangays, in the locality, particularly our HAPAG program, no? Which is the main program also of the President in relation to the First Lady Imelda Romualdez Marcos Green Revolution. No? Itong halina magtanim ng prutas at gulay. They should be properly implemented in the barangay and in the school level. No? And likewise, the Healthy City programs, marami pang legislations na kailangan in this Healthy City Initiatives program, which should be related also to nutrition. Because one great help for us in achieving the NHA is our no smoking policy in the city.
Yes.
We are a Red Orchid Hall of Fame pioneer. Kasama kami ni Mayor Sara Duterte noon. No? Talagang we are imitating o mas stricto pa kami sa Davao kasi sa Maasin, no selling of cigarettes. Pagbinta ng sigarilyo, bawal. And mayroong nagbinta. Pero, they're selling it like marijuana and shabu. Nagtatago sila. Yan talaga kami kay stricto doon. No? So, meron kaming legislation and we're trying to add more teeth to it by no vaping. No selling of vaporizers and no vaping on public. No? We cannot eradicate totally, but nagtatago sila. Just like using illegal drugs. No? So yan ang pinopromote namin sa Maasin talaga. No? And likewise, all the other programs, Healthy City, Zumba, exercises, lalo na sa mga senior citizens like me.
Okay, yes. Thank you po, Vice Mayor. So it's more of adopting mga national policies, but also doing your own share sa local ordinances. Okay, na mas matapang pa sa mga national policies.
Oo, mas matapang.
Yes, thank you po, Vice Mayor. So, yung third question are all directed sa inyo pong 5. If you were to talk to your, hindi to salamin ha, wala tayo salamin, hindi tayo sabi na, if you were to talk to your younger self, hindi ganon. So, Doc G, if you were to talk to your fellow members of the Sun Civil Society Alliance, what would you say, what will be your advice so that the PPAN will be fully implemented across your areas of operation?
I think words of encouragement to my fellow CSOs and NGOs, because sometimes working with the LGUs, it's not that easy. You need to convince, to imbibe the LCEs that this is important, especially health and nutrition. It's not easily seen compared to infrastructures. Yes. So this, I would always say, we have shared vision and we have an impact. We have our goal. We have to be strong. And then this is how we should treat our communities. Some of my friends would laugh, but I would always tell this to our partners. Unconditional love and unfathomable patience. Because once you give that, then they will start to open up and then they will start working with you.
Okay, walang pagsidlan na pag-ibig at walang malalim na pasensya. Okay, thank you very much po, Doc G. Mayor, ganun din po. How would you talk to your fellow legislators?
Well, encourage them to give support, monitor the severely wasted, yung mga underweight children. I will give them also affection, and we also channel the support of the CSOs talaga, yung mga civil society organizations. May program kami na ginawa naming adopt a severely wasted child. So tinutukan talaga namin yung mga severely wasted, including all the NGOs. They are working on it. So pati na yung mga kasama natin sa sangguniang panglungsod. So talaga mga severely wasted must improve their weight, kasi when they improve their body, their posture, they will become beautiful, handsome, because a thing of beauty is a joy forever.
Wow! A joy of A joy of beauty is
a thing of beauty is a joy forever.
Is a joy forever. Meron tayong ngayon, snap tayo. Tandaan po natin yan, galing kay Vice Mayor Maloney. So for all of us to be very beautiful, dapat tayo ay healthy. Si BNS Nenit, how would, as a BNS and talking to fellow BNSs, ano po ang inyong advice or message para po ang PPAN ay ma-implement sa barangay?
Sabihin is, here is my advice to my fellow stakeholder for the full implementation of the PPAN. Collaboration and coordination. Then, emphasize the importance of collaboration and coordination among all stakeholders, including the government agencies, local leaders, and NGOs and community members. Then, resource allocation. Kay ang plano, dili man dyan may mga way.
Yes. No,
allocate.
pagway
No,
pera,
budget.
no.
O, pagway pera, wala kayong magawa. So, capacity building. Invest in continuous training and capacity building for BNS, health workers, and community leaders to ensure they are equipped with
Ano pong kailangan na skills na ating BNS na para magawa niya yung role?
aron ma-kumplito ang skills sa mga BNS para makahimo sila sa pag-improve sa atong nutrition program.
Okay po.
Then,
Sige, madam, kaya po yan. Kinakaba kasi si BNS din eh.
advocacy, encourage stakeholder to advocate for nutrition at all level of government and within the community, raise awareness among the long-term benefits of improved nutrition. Then inclusivity, ensure the nutrition program are inclusive and address the specific needs of vulnerable groups such as children, pregnant women, and the elderly. Then communication, establish effective communication channel to disseminate information about nutrition program and their impact, utilize various media platform to reach a wider audience.
Sige po.
Then sustainability, focus on sustainability of nutrition intervention by integrating them into broader health and development program. A long-term commitment is crucial.
Sige po. So, isummarize ko yung sinabi nyo, 4 na C. Collaboration, coordination, communication, and capacity building. Tama po, yan ang kailangan ng isang BNS para po magawa ninyo yung inyong role. Sige po. Meron pa, madam? Meron pa? Sige po, meron pa. Ano bang kailangan ng isang BNS po?
Advocate for policy support. Work together to advocate for policies that support nutrition goals and as food security, access to clean water and health services. By adhering to these principles and working together with shared commitment to improving nutrition, we can contribute to the successful and full implementation of the Philippine Plan of Action on Nutrition, leading to healthier and more prosperous communities in the region.
Thank you po, Ma'am BNS. So, lahat po yon ay kailangan ng isang BNS para magawa ninyo yung inyong role sa barangay. Pero meron pang isang importante, isa pang letter C na kailangan din ng isang BNS. Dapat maging chismosa. 'Di ba? Kasi yun yung information eh. Pero dapat pagiging chismosa, tama yung information. Yes. So, Ma'am Sinaw, as talking to a fellow Sinaw, how would you encourage na para yung ating PPAN ay ma-implement?
Okay, thank you. Make sure that the local plan of action for nutrition integrated in the local development investment plan so that there is a sufficient funding for the nutrition programs and projects. And also have a regular assessment in the performance of the BNS para malaman din kung anong ginagawa nila. Tama ba ang direction ng mga BNS na ginagawa sa barangay? And also, make sure that you strengthen the collaboration and coordination of the CNC members as well as the private sectors that members of the Nutrition Committee also. And continue to have capacity building with the BNS and the other health workers so that you know naman they are the prime movers to promote good nutrition.
Okay, thank you po, Sinaw Gemma. O to si Ma'am CNPC, last but not the least. Kausap mo ang lahat ng City and District Nutrition Program Coordinator sa buong Pilipinas. Ano ang sasabihin po ninyo?
Okay, to ensure the successful implementation of the PPAN program, especially in our locality, kailangan magtulong-tulong tayo, makikoordinate tayo sa lahat ng mga line agencies natin. Palagi nating kausapin ang ating mga NAWs para patuloy tayong magabayan at palagi nating tingnan ang ating local nutrition action plan para hindi tayo mawala. Ano po? Kasi ang LNAP, yun po yung doon nakapalaman yung ating mga programa na kailangan nating i-implement sa ating community. At higit sa lahat, bumaba po tayo sa level doon sa mga barangay para makausap din po natin yung yung ating mga beneficiaries. Unlike the mga BNS, kailangan din po nila na makita din tayo sa kanilang mga lugar. Opo, nasa ground tayo para maunawaan natin kung ano ang mga kailangan nila at para malaman natin kung ano talaga ang mga problema na kailangang i-address natin sa ating community. At higit sa lahat, palaga nating ipaalala sa kanila na sila ay mahalaga at ang kabataan ay ang pag-asa ng bayan. Kaya kailangan nating tulungan. Ngayon pa lang, tawag dito, yung i-improve na natin yung nutritional situation ng ating community, especially yung mga kabataan. Kaya sabi ko nga kanina, lalo naming pinapaigting sa Naga, yung IYCF, kasi yun ang pinaka dapat gawin natin kasi mula sa womb ng nanay, kailangan na natin ang tamang nutrisyon para lalo silang lumaking malusog, matalino at masayahin. So hindi may iwasan natin ang magkakaroon ng stunting sa ating barangay. May iwasan natin yung pinaka-problema. Kaya kailangan doon tayo mag-focus. May bigay sa kanila lahat ng kanilang mga pangangailangan. Yun lang po. Thank you very much.
Thank you po, Madam Rose. So, i-summarize ko lang po the key points na sinabi po ng ating mga panelists. Importante, information is key. We cannot move kung wala tayong information evidence. Sabi nga ni Doc G kanina, paano natin malalaman if a program is important or successful? Dapat meron tayong evidence to say such. And then, important din, kanina nabanggit ni Doc Apet, yung kanyang close call to action. Partnership is important. So, partnership between the LGUs and the civil society, CSOs, lahat ng pwedeng partners. And then, nabanggit din yung coordination or collaboration is the key. So, important din po iyon. Okay, so maraming salamat for sharing your thoughts. Hindi pa tayo tapos. For the surprise closing, let's do a fast talk. Umpisahan natin. Doc G, partner or funder? Partner.
Sorry, partner.
Thank you very much. Vice Mayor, zero malnutrition or zero hunger?
Zero hunger.
Thank you. Sinaw Gemma, increase nutrition budget or increase human resource?
Increase nutrition budget. Kasi yung sa amin, okay naman yung human resource namin.
Okay, nutrition budget. Kailangan ng pera. CNPC Marie, benchmarking or shepherding?
Shepherding.
Shepherding. Leading others. Yes. And BNS Nenit, mabait na kapitan o maabilidad na kapitan? Abot. Okay. Thank you very much po. Thank you for sharing your thought. Thank you for participating our fast talk and maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Picture daw po. Vice Mayor, picture daw po.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Ellen, and of course, thank you to our diverse set of panelists for the first panel discussion this afternoon. Naga CNPC Zuniega, Talisay City Nutrition Action Officer, Ms. Gemma Gonzaga, Barangay Bool, Barangay Nutrition Scholar, Ms. Juanita Hinay, Maasin City of Southern Leyte, Vice Mayor Samaco, and Dr. Giselle Gaviola of Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Incorporated. Thank you very much for the very fruitful discussion and of course for emphasizing that coordination, capacity building, and monitoring and evaluation are crucial in the implementation of our nutrition programs. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, the various stakeholders of the PPAN have different but in many ways similar roles in addressing malnutrition and more especially operationalizing the PPAN in various levels. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this highlights the need for a multi-sectoral approach in implementing nutrition programs. In addressing malnutrition will not be successful with only one sector working. As the National Nutrition Council continues to advocate, sama-sama po tayong lahat para maabot ang nutrisyong sapat para sa lahat. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, from learning about the roles of various stakeholders of the PPAN, we shall now proceed to the second panel discussion this afternoon, which will now focus on the good practices of model local government units on the PPAN localization and operationalization. And what are these good practices, you may ask? We'll get to know many of these in the last panel discussion entitled PPAN Interventions and Sharing of Good Practices on the Localization of the PPAN. And for this second panel discussion, allow me to call on stage our distinguished panelists for this panel discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, first up from the Bicol region, the chair of the Provincial Nutrition Committee. The chair of the Provincial Nutrition Committee of Albay, Governor Edsel Greco Lagman, represented today by Provincial Nutrition Action Officer Dr. Estela B. Zenit. Joining Dr. Zenit is from the Western Visayas, the chair of the Provincial Nutrition Committee of Iloilo, Governor Arthur B. R. Defensor Jr., to be represented today by the Provincial Nutrition Action Officer, Dr. Wendell Tupas Marcelo. Joining them is from Central Visayas, the chair of the Municipal Nutrition Committee of Talibon, Bohol. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mayor Janet A. Garcia. And finally, joining our panelists is from Eastern Visayas, the chair of the Municipal Nutrition Committee of Parana Samar, Mayor Eunice Yuba Balcon. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our four panelists for the final panel discussion this afternoon. And of course, to keep the discussions flowing, allow me to call on stage the Chief of the Nutrition Information and Education Division and the Officer in Charge, Deputy Executive Director for Technical Services of the NNC. Please welcome Ms. Jovita B. Raval.
Thank you so much, Kayo. Good afternoon to our dear panelists. Good afternoon. Maayong buntag pa ba yun? Hapon na. Okay. So, for our session, kanina, Ellen talked about the roles of different stakeholders. And now we want to show that while we have a new PPAN cycle, there are LGUs with good practices and that this can be continued in this new PPAN. So, like this is a Miss Universe question. You may want to start with I believe or it's up to you. So, we've heard this morning that the PPAN has several pillars: food and diet, behavior change, multisectoral interventions, and enabling mechanisms. And the question is, maybe sinong gustong mauna? Si ma'am, no, as they are called. The question is, can your LGU, how ready is your LGU to implement this new PPAN?
Okay, by the way, I'm representing the Governor of Albay, Governor Grex Lagman. He was unable to come due to some health issues. Well, with our governor today, he is very supportive in all the nutrition, the programs of nutrition, and actually we have a recovery and rehabilitation plan for nutrition, since Albay is one of the most vulnerable place for disasters and calamities. So we have this recovery and rehabilitation plan, which actually, for the information of all, we submitted this to the Secretary of Health, Secretary Arbosa, and we highlighted here the nutrition specific and nutrition sensitive programs. And the nutrition specific, we make sure that we have stockpiles of micronutrients, vitamins, ready-to-use food, so that when disaster come, when calamities, we will be able to sustain. We will not be able to affect the malnutrition status of the community. And with the nutrition sensitive, we tap our other agencies like the Provincial Agricultural Office, our social services, so that kasi we usually have an evacuation centers during these calamities, and we make sure that the evacuees would have something to do. They would be planting the vegetables. We will capacitate them with trainings on livelihood programs. Those were some of our best practices.
Thank you, ma'am. Kasi for a while, nilipat yung Mayon Volcano to Naga, di ba? So at least nakabalik na siya. So,
Yes. And we are still on alert level 3. The Mayon volcano is still erupting.
so now is the best time to go to Albay to watch the baka pumutok, di ba? Yun. At least you will have more tourists.
Yes.
Hey, Dr. Wendell naman.
Good afternoon, mayong hapon sa tanan. So our governor has laid out our developmental mantra, More Progress Iloilo, movement for a robust, progressive, globally competitive, and resilient Iloilo province. This is the anchor of all the progress and development goals of the province. And our governor would like to always to emphasize, as a movement, it entails partnership. This is not just the work of the government. Our governor would always emphasize whole of province approach. So for us to be able to adapt the new cycle of PPAN 2023 to 2028, we will be able to do this by starting off with disseminating this new PPAN. Well, in fact, we have invited already ASEC, the Yanghirang, for a launching in the province on November during our health summit, so that all our local chief executives, our stakeholders and partners will be able to be aware of this new PPAN so that we can adopt this PPAN. And next year, once the new set of punong barangays will be installed, we have already planned a nutrition congress for punong barangays, and one of the main agenda for that is the dissemination of the PPAN 2023 to 2025, so that our punong barangays at the barangay levels will adapt the PPAN, because we believe that actions, nutrition actions, really happen at the barangay level. And this is always aligned with the development mantra of our province, More Progress Iloilo.
Thank you, Dr. Wendell. That was truly a Miss Universe response. Palakpakan natin ng Iloilo because it's very ready to implement the PPAN. And one of the studies said that it's really in the barangays that they don't know the PPAN. So that's a very good move to ensure that, how many barangays in Iloilo?
1,721.
So all those 1,721 barangays will have their barangay nutrition action plans. They will also have budgets for nutrition. They will have a BNS, at least one BNS per barangay, and so on. And if that will happen all over the country, wow, so we will reach our PPAN targets. And now to Mayor Janet Garcia.
Good afternoon. I believe also that the information dissemination is the most effective way of making PPAN 2023 to 2025 effective. As a matter of fact, aside from the information dissemination, Talibon LGU allocated enough budget for that, not only for the information dissemination, but of course the implementation itself. And also, me as a mayor, when I started my first term last administration, it was a pressure for me because Talibon has been awarded since 2024 as regional awardee for nutrition. And that 2004, I mean.
Yes.
2004. So I think it's more pressure on my part to maintain that one. So my approach now is, together with the legislative department, is to empower the human resource. So ang ginawa namin is to ensure that every barangay has BNS and midwives and BHWs also. As a matter of fact, during my last year of my first term, we increased a little of the honorarium of the BHWs. And also, we see to it that the midwives will be, it's either casual or plantilla position, so that the sustainability of the program will be achieved, because I believe politicians will come and go. But the real people who work hard for that are those who are truly in the barangays. So that is the one of our efforts of LGU, to really ensure that the people in every barangay would really work out of what is in the PPAN 2023-2025. Thank you.
Mayor Janet, may I have a follow-through question? Kasi we'll have the election this October, barangay elections. So in the past barangay elections, we've had more than 50% of the BNS replaced. So in your area, what can you do to address that?
Okay, that's really good question, ma'am, because it would be very challenging. It cannot be denied that it would really affect the results of the barangay election, would really affect of the new sets of BNS. But that's the reason why we started to create a position or items for the midwives, so that at least each and every barangay has constant midwives for them to, and also with the BHWs, most of them will be affected also after the barangay election. And same with Iloilo, we will try our best that after the barangay election, plenty of seminars and information dissemination will be given to the new sets of barangay officers for them to understand the importance of the sustainability of those knowledge of those barangay nutrition scholars and barangay health workers, because that's really what matters most in the application of the PPAN, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor Janet. No? At least retain those who are really performing.
Yes, working. It's really working.
Thank you. Mayor Eunice, no, of Paranas Samar, same question.
Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. I know you're all eager to go home or go your shopping, but I hope we'll be able to give you a bit of information of what we're doing in the local level, especially in our municipality. So, I think the most crucial key when you asked me about are we ready to implement the 2023 to 28 PPAN? Of course, I think I'm scared. But I have a lot in my town going, especially with partnership to the regional level, with Sir Doc Cathy here. I think that readiness is always a question for the local governments. Number one, are we capable to implement the programs? Do we have the budget necessary to implement the programs? But I think answering this question would also mean governance and leadership is crucial. That's why locally, provincial governors, mayors should really make this as a priority, the issue on malnutrition. And basically, the first thing that we have to do is to really get the right or accurate information on the ground. So partnership with other stakeholders and multi-sectoral agencies is also very important. And for Paranas, I think I can say I am ready as mayor with all the support coming from all levels of local actors in our municipality. But that is something that we have to see in the future. But in the past, our programs have been very effective because we admitted basically that malnutrition was an issue in our town. And we owned it and we collaborated with a lot of agencies and learned how to improve our MELPI Pro evaluation results. So learning from the level of a mayor would really be something that I think everyone has to engage the mayors, no? Kahit po anong sabihin natin, kung hindi po priority ang issue on malnutrition, hindi po siya mababad.
Speaking of which, the NNC has a partnership with the local government academy, no? So, part of that partnership is to provide technical assistance to the local chief executives down to the punong barangay. So, don't worry, ma'am. Anyway, you have here Dr. Cathy Dotollo. Huwag kayong matakot sa kanya po. So, thank you very much. Okay. Now, I'd like to ask each one of you specific questions with regards to your LGU. No? Na-mention nyo kanina, Dr. Estela, no, about Albay being ravaged by typhoons, the eruption, other disasters. And the PPAN is not only for normal situations, but let's face it, emergency is part of our normal, with the Philippines being one of the top 3 countries with the most disasters, no? So can you tell us what has been, aside from what you said earlier, no, what has been the strategy of the province to make sure that when families are affected by these disasters, how can they recover from the impact? Especially we see that Albay has been one of the provinces with very high, especially in the Bicol region, with very high malnutrition rates. Dr. Stella.
Yes. Actually, we have programs during disasters. We do the monitoring, the rapid assessment of the affected individuals in the area which was affected by the disasters, and we monitor. We make sure that they will be given the proper and the right support from the. And the provincial government also augments the different program of the LGUs, the local government, the cities and the municipalities on the nutrition program during disasters.
Was a secret why the province is food secure.
Yes, actually, the recovery and rehabilitation plan for nutrition is just part of the mother recovery plan of the province. And we have a recovery plan for the farmers, for the displaced communities. We do have that plan also.
Thank you, ma'am. And for Iloilo, because for the PPAN, you saw earlier the different interventions, right? But these are directional, and that gives a lot of leeway for LGUs to innovate. And you said progress for Iloilo. So what have been the innovations of Iloilo province and maybe some of its municipalities?
So for the province of Iloilo, mainly nutrition initiatives are the brainchild of our governor, Governor Arthur R. Defensor Jr., being at the forefront of all the planning and implementation of these nutrition innovations. Like for example, last year, during the height of COVID-19 vaccination, Governor Toto issued executive order implementing Project NutriVac, nutrition and vaccination towards a new normal in the province of Iloilo, wherein we integrate nutrition actions during vaccination drives. So, because again, that's the one of the mantra of the governor, convergence, integration of different services, no? So during that, no? Another innovation that our governor initiated is the Gardening for More Progress Iloilo. This is a program for food security, tourism, and climate change in the province of Iloilo. So our governor is fond of convergence, no? So this More Progress Garden, this is not just for food security, but also integrated is the tourism and climate change actions. So Governor issued Executive Order 640 last year, December. Would be a province-wide movement, no? From the different levels, from the barangay and municipalities, then the schools, elementary and secondary schools, and other institutions and vocational schools, and lastly, civil society organizations can also join. So there are 5, no? So with this policy, no, the governor has issued an executive order specific for this, the ongoing implementation currently, and they will be incentivized also next year based on the ongoing implementation, monitoring, and validation.
Thank you, Dr. Wendell. Actually, giving incentives is one form of changing behaviors as well. In Vegan City, sabi gusto nilang magpa-register yung mga buntis. So nagpa-contest sila, kung lumabas mga buntis, nagpa-register, meron silang libreng itlog. So, siyempre, mga buntis, gustong-gusto ng itlog. So, libreng itlog. So, giving the Nutri-Vac pack. Anong laman nung Vac pack?
Actually, it's a family food pack, no? Rice with Nutriban, multivitamins for children, and of course, education.
Integration and convergence. Pero I can imagine, yung nagpapa-injection, bata, matanda, siguro may karaoke din to suit their, joke lang yun, Doc. Okay, kay Mayor naman, no, of Talibon, no. Sabi nyo nga, since 2004. And I think one of the strengths of Talibon then is the functionality of the local nutrition committee, the municipal nutrition committee, and the barangay nutrition committee. So, since then, ma'am, how have you, under your leadership, been able to sustain the functionality of
in the council also, and also checking also the capacity of those who are part of the council, and making sure that each and every single month there are reportings, and also monitoring each barangay, since Talibon is quite challenging place. We have 8 island barangays, scattered island barangays, so the signal of the phone is also challenging. The internet is not that good all over the town, so we have to really have this group of people that would monitor personally to each and every services, even those times, in, of course, special way. That's why we hired additional job orders intended for the nutrition program, ma'am.
Mayor, tanong lang, kayo ba mismo yung nag-lead nung meeting ng MNC?
Yes, ma'am.
Kasi paano natin pagagawin din yung ibang mayor na ganon?
Yes, ma'am.
Paano niyo encourage yung ibang mayor? Kasi laging yung sinaw na lang, bahala ka na, ganon.
No, the Nutrition Council will, our issue, doctor will always ask me my vacant time so that I see to it to attend the meeting. But sometimes, maybe for the conflict of schedule, they always have a report to me right after the meeting, or right when I come back to the office, ma'am.
And like what Mayor Eunice kanina said, na important that the mayors are informed.
Yes, that's
so
the most
how do you
important.
make sure that your workers, your people are also telling you that this is the result of our operation
Yes.
Tibang, we have so many, and these are the barangays that are most affected?
Yes, monitoring, ma'am. They have their reports, and we also have this data. And they will also report during our local health board also. I'll try to emphasize that they also have take part in reporting also, so that the other sectoral group will also know the situation of the nutrition in Talibon. Because as what Mayor told us a while ago, it is not only a job for the LGU, but for the entire sectors in the community. That is why it's important for me that the other sectors should also know. That's why during our meeting during the local health board, we also try to invite them to also report the status of our community in terms of nutrition, ma'am.
And thank you very much. And, Taliban is an example of where there's good governance for nutrition. And now, Ma'am Mayor Eunice, no, we also talk about PPAN, this new PPAN, promoting positive behaviors. And I've heard that Paranas has a very good first 1,000-day strategy. Is that correct? So how are we at ensuring that mothers breastfeed, that the young children, the infants are properly given their complementary feeding? What are your strategies to promote these behavior changes?
In Paranas, what we did was engage the mothers because we observed that a baby that is born with a low birth weight is because the mother is also undernourished. So we saw that as a problem, and we thought of addressing it with the first 1,000 days, but actually targeting mothers as well. So dun sa Paranas, what we did is we launched a program. I first made an executive order, but eventually was adopted through a council resolution. We call this as Nutrivan program. If it is a backpack or backpack, for us it's a Nutrivan. We saw that we had to go to far-flung barangays because the top 10 identified areas where there is malnutrition are actually GIDA, upland barangays. So 8 out of 10 in the top 10 were actually GIDA barangays. So we had to go there through a van, and we brought 5 programs there. First is the Meals on Wheels, or the supplementary feeding program. We have the Agri-Nutri Tour, which is in collaboration with the Municipal Agriculture Office, where we have to educate also the mothers, the farmers, on what are the nutritious food, and then the nutritional value of the plants and the fruits that they have in their own communities locally. And then we have the Nanay Brigada, which is what we do to educate our mothers. So the mothers in Paranas, because actually when they have babies at 6 months, they would now start feeding them with sabaw ng rice that they're cooking. So they don't really know. Sa amin.
Yeah,
So what we did there in Paranas is to educate them. Now you can feed your child with like carrots or potato, which are available in your barangay, and all these things. But complementary to that is we also addressed the first 1,000 days by symbolically giving out 1,000 pesos to pregnant and lactating mothers. We fund it every year since 2020. Nag-start kami during pandemic because the EO was, and the council resolution was passed in 2019, pre-pandemic. So the first 1,000 days, bibigyan sila ng 1,000, pero naka-register sila. They have their conditions. Prenatal has to be complete. They have to be breastfeeding their babies up to 6 months na full breastfeeding. And then, they have to undergo dati nutrition pabasa yan. Parang walang masyadong nagiging engaged. So, we tried to innovate with ways that we can educate the mothers because that's very important. And right now, we're seeing that there's really an increase in the knowledge or awareness of the mothers, but we're also trying to tap the fathers. Hindi naman po pwedeng nanay lang. Yung tatay, meron siyang pera pero pupunta siya sa sabong, pupunta siya sa illegal, sa inuman, sa illegal gambling, yan. So, educating them, we tried to also tap our partners, like 4Ps, DSWD is here. I was telling RD Grace Subong kanina what we've been doing in Paranas, and we hope to replicate in other towns too or other LGUs. Pero really, what is essential is number 1, we try to see this as a macro level, but try to implement on a micro level. So the change of behavior of mothers is number 1, to be able to have the effect or the impact of making our kids healthy and eat the right food. Yung kaninang sinasabi that we have to make the right food choices, parang kailangan pati tayo. Diba? Lahat tayo na nandito ngayon. So I think it's really something that has to be worked out, and we start now. It's not too late to learn or relearn or unlearn things. And I think that's very essential that we as advocates for nutrition, we are the ones to set the example in our localities and our LGUs. So yun po yung ginawa namin. Symbolic yung 1,000 pesos, pero yung increase on awareness, nagtaas na, may impact. We do the Buntis Congress yearly. Whatever happens, we do that every July of the month. We coincide that with our Nutrition Month celebrations. We collaborate with DepEd, with TESDA, with other agencies that have some livelihood support programs in our locality, because I think that's also needed, ma'am. So, very small steps.
Wow. So, do you measure if it works? Do you have increased breastfeeding rates? Do you see reduced stunting? Because if you focus on the first 1,000 days, then you'd expect that you would have reduced stunting. May nakita po ba kayo, ma'am?
Yes. So I think institutionalizing all these mechanisms that have been effective should be done by our local legislators coming from the Sanggunian or the Provincial Council. At looking at it, no, I think yung commitment talaga, no, whoever is the mayor or whoever is the governor should really be on board on this thing. So I like it when I heard kanina no sinabi, all hands on deck, lahat tayo dapat tulong-tulong. So it cannot be that there will be only one agency focusing it. It should be everyone. So yun po yung measurement, ma'am, meron naman. Pero kailangan makita, hingin ko sa MNOW ko. The MNOWs are very much the effective, talaga sila, agents for all this. So, congratulations sa lahat ng MNOWs. Mahirap ang trabaho nila, I know, but napakagaling po ng mga MNOWs.
Bakit symbolic yung 1,000, Mayor? Totoo, hindi totoo, ganon? Totoo?
Ayaw namin po kasi na it's a dole out. We've had so much of this giving out funds, assistance, but baka dalhin lang ipariband, bumili ng ibang ganito, di ba? So pag nagsasalita si Mayor, or ako, I always find time to be there in all of this Buntis Congress, Launch Health Summits. I do that, I find time. Because I understand the psyche of the people in Paranas. I'm very much really about learning their lives. It's not about just, you drop us a program, we implement it. It has to be suited to my town. So the first, yung 1,000, totoong 1,000. Kasi pwede namang 2,000, kaso hindi namin afford ang 2,000. So 1,000. But the education that comes along with the 1,000, prenatal advocacies that we do also. And it helps that there are 4 Ps that are actually parent leaders. You have to empower some local leaders. So, sa communities, ganun yun. They have to have models. They have to see that meron pong ginagawa itong isa. Tapos ito, susunod sila. Parang ganun po yan.
Oo, ganda. Role model. And then also yung incentivizing them. Yun na yung pang-come on, no? Hindi yung laging pinapagalitan or not, di ba? Kasi all the more, hindi sila magsusupport. And when you have those batch of women, sila na yung mag-advocate sa kapwa nila kababaihan who are also mothers, no? So, ang ganda. So, we just, actually, maliit lang yung amount na yun, di ba, ma'am? Pag tinignan mo yung impact na nangyayari. So, baka ibang mayor dyan, 1,200 naman ang inyong, kasi may increase na. Okay. So, habang nagpapansit po sila, hindi tayo makakain ng pansit. Last question. This will be the same question for everyone. With what you have shared po, what will be your advice to other LGUs to ensure that this new PPAN will be implemented, funded, monitored, and evaluated as well? So, si Dr. Estelle?
Okay, for us in Albay, maybe, not maybe, we will do that. We have, first and foremost, the support of the local chief executives. We need that before we can perfectly implement this PPAN, new PPAN. And we'll coordinate with the different LGUs. Since we are at the province, we'll coordinate with different LGUs and probably get their commitments from the mayors and the municipal health officers. Because if we have, I was actually suggesting to my provincial coordinator, if we have to make this institutionalized, parang may ngipin, pwede natin, we can do it in the LGU level, we can let them adopt this plan, and that could be a big program for the...
Because people are always asking about legal basis.
Yes.
Diba? Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. And then Dr. Wenda.
So the PPAN, the new cycle of PPAN, is a very good roadmap and blueprint already. So the challenge for us at the local government unit is really how to operationalize, because PPAN has laid down already the strategies, interventions, but the details on how to implement, that's the challenge. And for us to implement the intervention specified in the PPAN, it has to be integrated in the mandated LGU plans, like the Local Development Investment Plan, Annual Investment Plan, and for health, we have LIPH, Annual Operational Plan, and now we are at the forefront of health reform, the universal health care. And while we are implementing UHC, it's important that nutrition is always there, part of the reform for universal health care, so that we can really say that we have achieved universal health care once nutrition is an essential, integral part of the universal health care.
Thank you, Dr. Wendell. Well said. Mayor Janet.
Okay, maybe for us in Talibon, since we already have an approved resolution for 1 year local nutrition action plan and 3 years for the local nutrition action plan, so for us is to really look forward for the cooperation also of the legislative, because it's hard, as you said a while ago, it really needs a legal backup for us to really mobilize on the PPAN. So we will try our best. We talked a while ago to really talk with our legislative body to really push through and really cooperate with us, and also monitor closely with the Nutrition Council also, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Janet. And last but not the least, Mayor Yuni.
I think my advice, kasi ang tanong is what would be your advice, no? So maybe to my colleagues or fellow mayors, is that first of all, you should have an M now. Kasi marami po talaga na they just like designate it or not really focus on nutrition, no? Yes, no, sabi ni Doc Cathy. But yeah, put a really effective M now, capacitate, support the programs, in fact, lead. Kasi kung ang mga MNC and Municipal Nutrition Council meetings, committee meetings are just led by the doctor or the RHU, MHO, hindi rin. You should be there as mayor, I think. And then, lastly, you have to share the responsibility, meaning it's not all on you. It's not all on you. You have to cascade it down to the grassroots, meaning your BNS should really be given empowered or given all the necessary tools for them. Kahit yung mga anthropometric tools na binigay mo, pagtuturuan nyo po sila, take time. Ako, I do visit my barangays. I do have barangayan on all of my 44. I just came from the farthest barangay in Paranas and really saw the situation. So, kailangan ganon. Kailangan leadership, governance, at the same time, you share the responsibility to others so that the burden would be lighter. You can achieve your goals quicker than you would ever think that it is. And probably access help from others. Nandyan si UNICEF, nandyan si World Food Program. Baka may ituturo po kayo sa amin sa maliliit na bayan ng Paranas. Andyan si Ma'am Dr. Dayang Hirang. So I'll just reiterate what she said. First, she said prioritize. Second, she said partner with others, then accelerate, and lastly, nourish. So yun siguro ang kailangan gawin nating lahat. Salamat po.
Thank you very much, our panelists. No, we've learned about preparedness and then rehabilitation, recovery, all the phases, and then innovation and convergence. integrated service delivery, and then good governance with very importance of monitoring, and then ma'am, innovation behavior. Thank you very much, and back to you, Kayo.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Jovi, and of course, daghang salamat to our panelists, Pinaw Zenit, Pinaw Marcelo, Mayor Garcia, and Mayor Babalcon for that very insightful dialogue this afternoon. Thank you very much. It is indeed really great to know of the good practices of our model local government units along nutrition, and of course on the localization of this new cycle of the PPAN and the previous PPANs as well. By these discussions, we share the message that the PPAN 2023 to 2028 formulated with a consideration and complementation of old and new and improved strategies is indeed the compass in achieving and ensuring the good nutrition of a locality. May the good practices po na na-share ng ating local government units this afternoon inspire our local chief executives here in Visayas and the Bicol region to not only emulate such practices but also inspire you to implement unique actions that are evidence-based and context-based in themselves. As what our panelists have said, no,